and I haven't posted this anywhere, so I should probably do that.
Yeah,
So
we should start posting them on Reddit.
yeah,
Maybe.
that's a good idea. This one is just so messed up, but if you guys want to do the introductions and whatnot, I'm gonna start tweeting this and
All right.
whatnot.
You
I'll
want to
just
start?
follow. I'll follow
You
your
start.
camera, Mark.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have a pretty important show to show you guys today. Show match between our very own Team Ascension MyDarling versus PA Pro Bioice. In the top left corner, we have the blue Terran. And spawning in the bottom right, we have the pink Zerg. I was expecting you to say something. Okay.
Jake dropped the ball there.
I was confused, but
What do
it's
you
fine.
expect out
We're
of this
fine.
game today?
I haven't seen much from MyDarling, so I'm not exactly sure how MyDarling plays. But Jackson, in particular, his Bioice is very metagaming. Like he metagames a lot. Depending on how he knows his opponent's openings and all that other stuff, it'll determine whether he scouts like he is now. So he probably also doesn't know exactly what he wants to do. Maybe MyDarling is a very three-dimensional player, but I would assume just a 9 scout hatch first. Very standard for Jackson. And looks like MyDarling's probably just gonna go 1 Rax Reaper. We haven't even seen the reactor yet, or the refinery, but I'm just gonna assume that that's what's gonna happen, because that's what always happens. If we don't see a hatch first, I would be very, very, very surprised.
Actually surprised, MyDarling seems to be going for a 1 Rax expand. Or a very late gas.
It could still be a 13 gas. But it doesn't look like that, yeah.
Not as popular as most Terrans in TVZ going. Normally go
yeah, it's actually very surprising.
First.
We don't actually see this
It's a
very
very
often.
delivery style, yeah.
And this is actually really good for Bioice because he's got a drone out to harass. And as a 1 Rax expand player, it's kind of annoying because you don't have that faster Rax, faster Reaper kind of thing. You'll have to wait till your Marine gets out.
Right.
And when you build, you get your command center a lot faster with the 1 Rax expand because you don't have the refinery.
Right.
But it looks like we're just not going to see a... Well, we'll probably see the command center after orbital, but... Jackson's definitely getting his drone's worth with the harassment.
So it seems like MyDarling is going for a very Wings of Liberty style opener, which is the 1 Rax expand. The proper transition after that would be either to go for double gas or go straight into 2 Rax. Or 3 Rax, actually, before her gas is in. I can actually expect, knowing how MyDarling plays, I know that she's very tuned to going Mech. I expect her to actually drop down 2 refineries before her second Marine, which it seems like she's doing right now. She's going down her supply depot.
Yeah.
Gas. There you go.
I'm not sure how much scouting information Jackson really got. Jackson did not even... Did he even scout the refineries? Like, I know he scouted that...
He just got 1.
He scouted the command center timing. That should tell him that there's no refinery. And the fact that there's no Reaper as well is pretty suspicious. Obviously, he wouldn't be going for... Or she wouldn't be going for a Rax factory, or we wouldn't have seen a command center that fast. So he could just assume that the gas wasn't there if he didn't see it.
What do you think the proper response to this...
a third clean and a very fast third.
Okay.
Which is what we'll probably see. We see him taking guys off of gas at 100. So it'll probably just be a lot of drones and a third queen, and then probably a third base. So there's the third queen started.
There's a tech 3. So after this stream, you can expect the reactor. The Thunder reactor, and she's going to be pumping the helmets. I do notice that MyDarling actually has two guys on gases on each refinery, which is very interesting to me.
It's just me, or are you breaking up?
Yeah, he's going to potato.
Oh.
What?
He's becoming a potato.
Are you breaking up too, Travis? I can't tell.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
anyways,
breaking up a little bit.
We should see the third base now that he's almost fully saturated, and we'll see a creep tumor from the third queen. And I wouldn't even be surprised to see a fourth, depending on the fourth queen. He knows it's 3 CC, but I think he'll just stick on 3 queens. For the time being, it'll probably be drones, and then we'll see Evo Chambers for +1 very soon.
We see MyDarling going for Hellions into a Banshee tech.
Very interesting to see a player open Wonder Axe expand and then go Hellion Banshee. I feel like you can get a lot faster Hellions and a lot faster Banshee with a Command Center Refinery. Or Wonder Axe Reaper Harass.
User was moved out of your channel.
Would you agree, or would you think that this is
better?
Yeah,
I definitely. I think it's actually more. It's definitely more safer also. And all you can actually just you can deny scouting, which with link scouting you won't be able to deny. If you were to, what I like to do is when I actually do throw down my starport, after going into the Reaper opening, I like to build a Viking first to take out any Vikings around my main and natural. Then from there, depending on what I scout with my Hellions and Reaper, I like this. I transition from there, whether it's a Hellbat push or just a faster third.
The other thing that is better with this build is it's definitely more economical. Like you get a lot more SCVs faster with the faster or command center and the faster second orbital. But I don't know if that would be enough for me to want to switch from Reaper expanding, because Reaper is like, if you look at map awareness.
Right.
We really don't know if there's any Hellions moving out or anything like that, or Lings moving out, stuff like that. Like, it's nice to have the Hellions out pretty early. They usually have them out around 6 minutes, 4 Hellions, maybe a little bit more.
Right.
Like, maybe 7 minutes. But right now it's 8:17 and we're moving out with 6, but it's, you know.
So I see MyDarling is doing a little bit of poke to scout. Seeing scouting third to make sure that he does see a third base. He's not expecting no 2-base muteless timing or anything of the sort.
I think a big thing that MyDarling was doing was checking the saturation of the third base to see what it's like. If you don't see too much saturation, usually right around a little bit later, you would see a decent amount of saturation. If you don't, you can assume it's a Roach Bane or something like that. But it's I'm not exactly sure why we have so many Banelings on the map. Maybe Bioice thought it was a Hellbat timing or something, but it wasn't.
Also because he did scout that he was building he was going for a really fast third, so yeah, I'm actually surprised at that decision myself.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate because all this gas goes other places when it does, like, he could have gotten a faster layer maybe or something like that, but it is safer for sure. You probably just saw, like, so what my guess is you know how his Overlord got shut down pretty fast? He probably just compensated for that. The fact that he lost his Overlord, he doesn't want to get caught off guard. So he's just playing all around safe. I'm surprised we haven't seen too much Banshee harassment. It feels like Bioice has gone relatively unharassed. And his drone count is actually just insane right now. And we'll see the 4th base being taken. Creep Spread is getting pushed out. Usually we see our Terran players sit as Hellions across the map, like on the creep.
Yeah,
or just on the edge to kill the creep tumors, and that's something MyDarling isn't doing, which is interesting. I guess she doesn't want to lose the Hellions, which I can understand. If you look at her base, she really doesn't have much to defend anything. It's literally just these Hellions to stop the Ling harass.
When you go for a multi-lane opener like Bioice did, how much creep terms do you actually drop down until you feel like it's enough, it's too much, and where you know, like you save up energy for queens in case you need to transfuse?
Well, what Bioice is doing right now, it's pretty good. Maybe a couple more, but like right now, some of his queens are about to max. It'd be nice just to keep your energy to almost just below the max level, because obviously you don't want your queens sitting at max level. That's not very beneficial. Yeah. What he has is enough. It's not too many, but so we see a double expand for Bioice. This is mostly for production reasons. Obviously, he's not going to saturate both of these spaces. That would be way too many drones. But I think MyDarling relatively got away with a very greedy opening. Like, I feel like MyDarling's opener has put her ahead. And
I do see that Bioice is going for air upgrades. Is there a reason for that? Is it for corruptors?
He's going for carapace, so it's just so the mutas can tank a couple more Thor shots, or more any shots really. Like upgrades or attack upgrades don't really change the muta DPS too much right now. He probably will stop. He doesn't really know well, he does know the mech is coming, so he's just gonna make a couple mutas to harass, and then he'll probably stop unless he goes like mass full out muta. But I don't think we'll see that. It'll probably be
that's why I was actually surprised he did go for mutas, because he does know that his Terran opponent was going mech. So
he's going mutas, but he's probably gonna transition into Swarmhost very fast. And it's just going to be like a muta Swarmhost play.
So right now we have MyDarling going for +2 upgrades on his Mech army, while his Zerg opponent, he's on 1-1 on lanes actually, so just melee.
I think it's a mistake not to have his 2-2 going. And I think it's.
Would you get 2-2 on your melee or your range? Yeah, range, right?
It depends. I think he was just doing it because he was originally going to go Ling Bling Muta, but he scouted the mech a little bit late. You can see he's getting his range upgrade now. We'll probably see Carapace, and we also see Enduring Locust being upgraded, so we will see Swarm Hosts very shortly. We probably need them very fast, though. This push could kill Bioice very easily.
Could, yeah.
You need Swarm Hosts
looks
now.
like a very scary push. I feel like Bioice definitely
MyDarling is up
investing on way too many
supply. This is actually huge timing. 14 minutes with this much army. Like, she got away with the greedy opener. The opener alone, I think, allowed her to get such a massive army. But Bioice is going for the counterattacks. I think this is the best choice. He obviously cannot fight this army head-on until you get Swarm Hosts, so there's no reason not to do this. You can do as much damage as possible. He's going to get 3rd CC with the Muta Harass, and MyDarling's going to get the alternate 4th base. But the Swarm Hosts are out. We need a higher number of Swarm Hosts before he can just defend this. And he cannot lose. It's very important he doesn't lose them. Bioice is trying to do... the Spore Color is actually really nice too, but this is from before, so he wouldn't get harassed too much, but the Swarm Hosts are being misrallied.
I definitely love the fact that MyDarling actually pushed as soon as he has... he was really, really close to getting 2-2, so this time it definitely is going to do a lot of damage. I feel like Bioice, he invested in way too many Mutalists. Too many Mutalists, and I feel like the banings that he got early on.
Well, that's GG. He can't win now. I think MyDarling hit the perfect timing before Swarm Host. Literally the perfect timing. If she was a minute later, she would have lost. If she was a minute earlier, like, she wouldn't have had enough. You know what I mean? Like, it's the most crisp timing you could do. But I think it also relied on the... remember when I pointed out she only had 6 Hellions in a bunker at like 8 minutes or something? It was all that she cut units completely for that super fast 3rd CC saturation, which is like equal to Jackson's, which you never fucking see. You never see a Terran player fully saturated on their 3rd base at the same time as Zerg players. That's actually like unheard of. So I would say MyDarling taking advantage of the way Bioice plays by getting a faster economy with less units, and that's also why we didn't see the creep being denied, because she wanted the Hellions at home in case of any lane run bys or anything. But it doesn't matter if your economy's that good. You can just power out 6 factory mech after that.
Do you feel like it would have been a better idea if, because knowing that Bioice actually did scout his natural, or MyDarling's natural, so he did see that he was going for a really fast second and a really fast third. Do you think he should have, instead of getting those fast, or the extra queens to spread to creep to him, or do you think he should have went for a faster third first and then
he needed the queens just in case the Terran player, because he can't tell if the Terran player is going to continue with the Hellion Banshee. He needs a lot of queens for that. Or if they're going to stop and go into Mech, or stop and go into Bio, because that's what a lot of Terran players do. So I would say Bioice just had a lack of scouting, and obviously if he knew how heavily she was saturating her 3rd, he would have attacked a lot sooner. But because he didn't, he needed to play defensive.
Oh, that was a very, So, MyDarling takes game 1. This is a best of 3, so we're up to the second game on Overgrowth. See MyDarling and Bioice.
I think Overgrowth. Overgrowth is a better map for Bioice, I think. MyDarling, like, it's a lot closer. Like, it's hard to say actually. It could be good for MyDarling for a few reasons, but I'd say it's better for Bioice, just because it's a lot easier to scout.
I'm not too big of a fan going Mech and Overgrowth, because of depending on which 3rd you take, it can actually be beneficial or detrimental to you.
Yeah, I agree. If you take the forward 3rd, it's actually it's hard to say, but going in Mech, I think it's a lot harder to defend your Nat in your 3rd. But if you go Bio and sit your Bio army in between, it's a lot nicer. Especially when you're rallying from your 3rd, the forward 3rd area, because then you are a lot closer to your opponent's army or base.
So let's see what openers our players go to this time. So this is the second game of the best of 3. We have Team Ascension's MyDarling on the top right, a blue Terran, while we have TA Pro, Team Ascension Pro, Team Zerg Bioice on the bottom left. See what we can expect from this game. So what can you predict the Zerg player is going to do this time?
Bioice is probably going to scout a lot more. I think he scouted a lot, like a lack of scouting on a lot of things, especially the third saturation and how fast it was saturated. He overreacted to the Hellions with those Banelings. That was an overreaction for sure.
Right.
And he just didn't know the extent of the Hellion Banshee was going to be.
Curious to see what kind of opener MyDarling's going to do, or whether she's going to go for a faster fast gas, and she does. So this is different from her first game. So we can expect the Reaper opening on this game. See whether she follows up with 2 Reapers, maybe 3 Reapers, or just 1 Reaper into Reactor Rex and fast expansion.
Yeah, we'll be able to tell very shortly, but it's hard to tell at this point.
Yeah.
Until we see, it's only one guy mining on gas right now. There's the other 2, 3.
Okay.
This Reaper's gonna be slightly delayed because of this drone scout. It's interesting that Bioice scouts with a drone like this. I'm pretty sure it's for 2x prevention, but I think it's odd. I don't personally like scouting with drones. But he seems to get his money's worth every time, which is kind of nice. Not necessarily killing anything, but pulling all those SCVs off the line, and MyDarling's 2 SCVs not mining from this gas for a little bit longer. Stuff like that. It's very nice.
Especially you can make sure that a turn opponent isn't going for a CC first, which I tend to like to do sometimes. Not on this map though. Not a big fan of CC first on this map, but that drone, I'm definitely afraid of that first drone scout if I go CC first, because
it's very hard, yeah. That's also probably why he's doing it, just to harass at a CC first and stuff like that. The Bioice is opening differently. This game he's not going for any gas, which is very interesting. Some Zerg players do this. It's usually so they can get 4 queens instead of 3 right away, right. And just they get a really fast third if they're good, like a very, very fast third. And then they just use their queens to defend their third, which is very beneficial because you can drone a lot harder, a lot faster.
So we have MyDarling going for the 1 Reaper expand into a really fast factory reactor. Rex.
Yeah.
Is very.
This is a lot more standard than the last game. This is like cookie cutter standard for Terran. Like literally every Terran player opens this way, except for like the odd CC first Terran, but that's not very common. So we do see the 4 queens
I actually scout. Sometimes I'll go for, like, if I am already planning on going for 2 Reapers, sometimes I'll go for a 3rd Reaper if I just scout a faster gas.
The build MyDarling's doing is pretty safe too, like the 2 Marines after the Reaper.
Yeah.
Alright, go ahead. Oh, going for another 2 Marines before getting any Hellions. This is kind of odd. We probably see a tech lab on this factory actually, and she'll just leave the reactor on the racks.
I can expect her to be going for a really fast Marine Hellion drop. Or,
Marine Hellion?
Yeah, Marine Hellion.
Oh, I see. She's swapping it. So I would say this Marine Hellion. She's going to make a few more Hellions and just get a medevac.
Yep.
Huh.
And after that, she's probably going to either follow up with a Viking to do some harassment, and then from there, maybe a Banshee, or maybe a faster third, depending on...
I think we would have seen a tech lab by now. It's kind of...
yeah, she's going to go for a medevac.
I actually like Bioice's decision. Like the mass queen style, like he's getting 2 more queens, is actually pretty decent at holding this if you know it's coming. You need to have your queens in good positions, but it's a lot nicer than having like, because it depends if you have a really fast speed. Obviously, very fast speedlings is good too, but you kind of need to know that it's coming for that to happen, right?
Right.
This is basically, it's better than his last style where he had like 6, 7 lings and only 3 queens. Having 6 queens and like a shit ton of drones is just as good.
What do you feel about Zerg players that tend to go for the carapace upgrade?
Oh, this is actually a Hellbat Marine timing.
Yeah, Hellbat Marine drop timing. Actually, really strong.
What do you mean by carapace?
They go for the Overlord speed.
Oh,
early on.
It's pretty good versus some things, but obviously right now Bioice is doing just as well with just 1 slow Overlord. Like he knows exactly what's coming. It depends how good the Terran player is at stopping the Overlord.
I like how MyDarling actually follows up with a Banshee play, goes Banshee. So yeah, instead of going for a really fast third,
MyDarling pulled a bunch of SCVs to repair and healed the Banshee or the Hellbats. This is actually pretty interesting. I've never seen this before. Oh, these Banelings though. These Banelings should shut down everything.
Oh, the Banelings kills the SCV.
Yeah, and with all the queens.
Yeah, so she's.
If he loses the third, though, MyDarling is probably not in that bad of a position. I feel as though this is a very committed attack. If you look at, there's only 6 SCVs at the Nat, so Bioice is probably still ahead. But it's kind of nice to get the third. Obviously, if MyDarling didn't get the third, then this game would be probably extremely favored for Bioice. And we do see that Banshee follow up with Cloak. This actually reminds me of Campker a bit. Because Campker does this kind of thing, and the Banshees always catch you off guard, especially when dealing with a Hellbat Marine timing. Because you're like, okay, there's no way he's going to have a Banshee now. But Bioice actually scouts this. He scouts the tech lab, even researching Cloak. This is a very nice scout from Bioice. A lot of Zerg players forget to go back in after a thing like that, because you can see when the factories or the Raxes are being added on, and at this case he sees 2 factories. He sees everything. The Banshees, Cloak, and...
It's very interesting to see that Bioice felt like he was still far ahead and safe that he was able to go for a third and a fourth at his go after that attack.
Well, Bioice seeing with these roaches, he's killing down the Hellbats, and as long as his creep is... Yeah, the SCV repairing that's pretty interesting.
Man, that's right. I was actually surprised. I was actually like he sent MyDarling sent 4 SCVs to repair the medevac and to help repair the Hellbats when he did that push. That's very interesting. I don't really see
that was very smart because a lot of Zerg players just focus down the medevac, and once the medevac dies, there's no healing to the Hellbats. But if she does it this way, you can repair the medevac and you can repair the Hellbats. This third is obviously not getting up, but I don't think she'll be able to do any more damage with these roaches and these queens. Actually, these queens might be overstepping their grounds if they lose these queens without... Oh, transfuse it. Oh, losing these queens is huge. She can't lose these.
Yeah, she can't. She doesn't.
Trying to save this. We don't even see a third from MyDarling, so taking this fourth is kind of overzealous, I would say. You don't really need it. But these roaches are going to shut this down for sure. As long as he doesn't lose all his queens, which looks like he is.
As long as she kills out she target fires the queens with the Banshees. Hellbats.
Yeah.
The anti-air won't be able to take out the Banshees.
I feel like that was microed for sure. Losing those queens is pretty big. And these Hellbats could get a lot of drones, but they're instead going for the roaches. Oh, and the queen gets picked off. If MyDarling gets this third, this is going to hurt a lot for Bioice. But we do see one Hydra out here. The DPS of 3 Banshees is actually insane. And there's a siege tank here too. What is this push? A very random siege tank, but I like it. I think it's good.
Yeah.
It's just a bit more of a buffer, but Bioice is fairly fast Hydras. He's going to kill these for sure. He won't get this hatchery.
I feel like that was a very bad misclick by MyDarling. I feel like she should have just continued the micro
yeah. Or she could have just focused it down with all 3 Banshees a lot sooner. But she was kind of poking at roaches and poking at other things that weren't actually attacking her Banshees. The third has just started now. This is very late third. I feel Bioice is in a lot better of a position than he should be. That was mismicroed by him, and I think he should have been able to hold that a lot better.
So if only he took out the third hatchery.
If we look at the bank, Bioice is floating a lot of minerals right now, so we'll probably see a lot of roaches very soon, and we'll probably see a push. And I don't think MyDarling would be that prepared for a heavily roach-based push right now. Looks like we only have one tank.
Is +2 attack, while Bioice is going for +1. Or no, actually he just finished. Okay, so he should be going for +2 real soon. I don't know if he has the bank right now.
I like Bioice's creep spread is actually pretty decent right now. It would be nice if he had 2 creep tumors at each one of these bots, because it spreads a lot faster and it's just a lot more efficient. But
This is the thing that I don't like about Mech. This is, I guess, is my personal opinion, but I feel like Mech is very hard to. It's hard to defend when you get the third where MyDarling the third that MyDarling took. I tend to go for the bottom third, is because I can have high grounds, tanks, and despite the fact that the Zerg probably has better surface area, I feel like as long as it's in the my army is being rallied to the third and it's actually in the direction of the Zerg's base, I think that's much easier to defend. But I'm not a big fan of going for the third that MyDarling went for.
It can be alright, depending on what your opponent goes for. I feel like against mutas, the lower third is a lot nicer because it's more centralized. Against Roach Hydra, either third is fine, but I still feel the forward third is better for a few reasons. Especially if Bioice is taking his fourth at the gold, like he is right now, MyDarling can really capitalize on the positioning and just have tanks over here and be able to defend her third as well, you know what I mean? But it is nice to mine out this third faster so that you can take this as your fourth later on. So there are a few pros and cons to taking that third.
So the fact that Bioice has this gold base is
I think
his bank is starting to go up crazy.
This might be a very overextensive push on creep and everything. Bioice should be able to take this fight as long as there aren't any crazy seeker missiles or anything. These Vipers have a lot of energy too. This should be a decent fight for Bioice. A very good fight. As long as the blinding clouds are good, Bioice should never be able to lose this fight. I think this whole position is not.
Oh, and all the drones that the gold dies.
The drones aren't too big of a deal. With the 1600 mineral bank, you can just rebuild that. I wish we'd just see a blinding cloud on this tank and you could just roll through this army. It's not even that big. But Bioice pulling a lot of the army in instead of blinding clouding. Alright, he should go for it now. Blinding clouds would be nice. But he doesn't have it. He doesn't have the energy for blinding cloud. Also, no overseers in this army, so these banshees are going to do a lot more than they should. But the army does get cleaned up, and this is a very expensive army, but if you had overseers, these banshees are really saving all the rest of these tanks. All of these rallying tanks would be dead right now if it wasn't for these banshees. Because the Roach army would have definitely counterattacked to kill the banshees, and she will get this third for sure.
Yeah.
So that's actually very nice. Bioice having his other fourth is a very good reaction to this. You probably threw that down immediately before the engagement happened, just in case his fourth died. And very, very good Zerg players will do things like that, and that's what makes them good Zerg players, you know?
Yeah.
Having those alternate fourths.
Oh, so he's just trying to... Oh, wait.
Oh, this could be a very bad fight for Bioice. These would have...
Bioice never got his plus...
Oh, his +2/+2 is really late.
Yeah, his +2 is really, really late.
I think that's a mistake for sure.
And he's also not starting his
hive is already done. He probably should be starting his 3/3 right now, and he's probably pretty annoyed that it isn't started. I'm not sure if he even notices. Usually, what he's doing right now is he's getting his +2 missiles, but usually you're getting your +3 missiles by itself like that because it's very expensive, depending on what your army supply is. Usually he should be starting his 2/2 if it's not for that.
Oh, there we go. Now it's starting this weekend.
Yeah. It's very
how
late
badly this affects him. Well, MyDarling's already on. He's on +2 attack. He hasn't started his armor upgrade yet.
Bioice's army supply is insane, like high. The only problem is that fighting up these chokes would be suicide.
Yeah, there would.
The whole positions are very weird. I don't get them. Oh.
Oh.
Bioice needs something to do with these Vikings now. I wonder what he'll make to deal with them. He's starting his Spire, so...
Knowing that you're a Zerg player in this position, what's your reaction? How do you react to this?
Just do what Bioice does, which is saturate his fifth, and just don't attack into him. You gotta wait for them to come to you. But Bioice is also getting a Spire, probably to make Corruptors or something to deal with these Vikings. But he needs to do something before the before the Vikings kill these.
Oh.
I feel like pulling all this is not worth. Oh, losing that overseer means he can't see that.
Oh, he does have one officer left. Okay.
That was pretty decent for Bioice. Losing those Vipers is pretty big, but he is keeping MyDarling on 3 bases, and that's just what he's going to do. He's just going to sit out here and try and keep MyDarling from picking their 4th.
I'm not a big fan of what MyDarling just did was kill those rocks. I think those rocks actually benefited her more than actually hurt her.
They
now
do.
the Zerg part actually has 3 routes to go into the main or a natural 3rd. I'm not the biggest fan of what she did, but let's see how she plays this off.
This could be good for Bioice. Like if Bioice rushed this before the tanks got split, he probably would have done a lot of damage with good blinding clouds.
In this position, I feel like what do you feel about doing Night Display?
Night Display's alright. It won't work against every Terran, but it would work in this case. Like the 3rd, there's so much space in the main to do harassment. And like you said before, here comes the harassment up the ramp, like up in the other location that isn't being protected. And this is where it starts to get difficult for MyDarling, because MyDarling's going to start spreading her units thin. She's got to protect like 4 different chokes now. Her 3rd, her 4th, and her Nat ramps. And if Bioice is good, he'll exploit the ones that are left decently undefended.
Exactly.
You see Bioice taking this this 3rd base that we were talking about before? Yeah. And we'll probably see him take saturation from one of these other bases and send it that way. That way he can start mining out this base before mining out one of his own.
Exactly,
so
yeah. That would be smart.
Yeah, that's what we'll probably see for sure.
Curious to see what, so it seems like MyDarling is starting to transition into a air army. The Vikings and Ravens. He seems pretty fortified, but
we still don't have.
There's so many openings that there is a lot of different routes that MyDarling can actually take because of the. Bioice can actually take.
We still don't have 3-3 started though.
Ooh.
That went pretty good for MyDarling, but if you see Bioice's bank, it was just so he can probably resaturate it. Yeah, look at he's making his 13 swarm hosts now. He'll probably go into a Muta swarm host army. He'll probably sack almost all of these roaches, and it'll be Hydra Muta swarm host or something like that. But he's starting a 2nd spire. I wonder if he doesn't know that he has his 1st spire. Well, that's definitely a mistake.
I'm gonna go for double upgrades.
Double upgrades wouldn't make much sense because he had the spire a long time ago, and he did get his carapace upgrade, but he's not even started any other upgrade. I don't know what. Maybe it's for Broodlord, like 1 layer 1 to be Broodlord, but I don't know. This 3rd is it's kind of troll. This other base.
It seems like
obviously this base will never get up, but it's kind of a cute play from Bioice. I'm surprised we don't see this 3rd base being saturated more heavily. Like this one in the top.
Top, yeah, the top at 12, 11 o'clock. Let's see what the unit said.
I'll let the swarm host begin. Bioice starting his static defense around the swarm host. I think once you get a position like this, it's very hard to take inefficient fights from Bioice. As long as you have your static D around your swarm host, it's not like the Ravens will get on top of them or anything like that.
Right.
So it's very abusive. I guess we don't see the minerals saturated from this base much, just because the gases were the most important aspect of that base. Bioice taking out a lot of Hellion harassment opportunities.
Yeah,
These
so
4 Hellions could do a lot of
out.
damage.
Yeah, good. Going down the right because he does realize that he has a lot of mineral bank. Try to use it. Effectively use this. See how much.
We see infestors without the infestor upgrade. I don't know what the infestor upgrade's called, but pathogen glands.
Right.
That's interesting. I think that was
so
probably a
that's
mistake.
the base head. His
Wow,
bottom base under. Yeah.
These Hellions are going to be really annoying. Bioice's mineral bank is actually dropping drastically, and he needs to invest more minerals into resaturating the bases he's lost. You might need to get static defense like spines at these bases, these more exterior bases. Which we'll probably end up seeing if I had to guess. These Widow Mines are no longer
Yeah, I'm
going to
actually surprised how long. I was waiting for those Widow Mines to go off, but they never went off.
Yeah. And they're going to start being less effective too. Oh, this Roach run by is actually going to do a lot of damage. A lot of damage. These, all these SCVs are going to be cleaned up. You could clean up the refinery.
MyDarling is forced to lift off the CC. So he sends out his Vikings and Ravens.
Oh, now that the Vikings aren't there, he's going to harass with his Vipers. Maybe.
Oh.
I don't know what that was. The Hydra's still sitting in the way, yeah.
He could have done a lot, yeah. If he was to just get off his mining class, could have done actually. Bioice could have done a lot of damage.
Yeah, it could have done a lot of damage. Bioice's gas bank is really big though, which is pretty nice for him. But he needs to saturate his mineral lines more because he needs more minerals. If you look at the farther, like even look at the Bioice's third base. Look at the saturation there. Like,
yeah,
he has so many minerals, but there are a lot of there's a lot of ineffective drones here. There's what, like 9, 6, 12. Like, there's a lot of drones here that aren't mining.
They're idle drones. Yeah. I feel like once Bioice does get the static defense that he needs, I feel like he can.
Oh, these Vipers are dying for free. That was pretty big. Oh, the fungal! Oh, that's a huge fungal! That is a huge fungal. That is game-changing fungal. Oh,
but
he could have done a better job of splitting, but one more fungal would have killed all of those Vikings.
Yeah, all the Vikings used with 10 hit points.
That's very unfortunate. Bioice could have definitely killed all that. He could still kill all.
Bioice did a counterattack at MyDarling's 5th base and actually took did a lot of damage. Has the orbital command, MyDarling's orbital command dying now at 78 points.
There are no Raven. Well, if one more good fungal could kill all these Vikings, and the Vipers could go to town. But this third base is definitely, this potential third base for MyDarling is being saturated pretty heavily now. Bioice really needs to saturate some of these bases. He needs more minerals.
Oh, and he just lost like 4 swarm houses now. Yeah, Bioice is in a lot of trouble now.
This is starting to not look too good for Bioice for sure.
Yeah.
MyDarling's army is getting pretty close to his potential bases, and he's also losing his other third base. His economy in general is going down the drain, even though he does have a lot of potential mining. It's hard to engage an army like this, and he's losing a lot of expensive units. At the same time, mining for MyDarling is very limited as well. The only problem is MyDarling's army is never going to not be efficient versus Bioice's now that the static D is gone. There's too many Vikings. That's the problem. The Vikings are just going to nullify the Vipers immediately.
Yeah, I feel like MyDarling should have sent some of the Vikings and did some harassment at the main, or did some mineral drops with the Vikings. I mean, you can't do that. Vikings gonna drop. So Bioice's composition: Infestor, Hydra, Swarm Host, Viper. God,
these Hydras still aren't +3 in Carapace. Oh, there's some Raven harass in the main. That's kind of annoying. You can see MyDarling. Wow, that is a lot of Vipers. Oh, these Seeker missiles. Oh man. Using all but 2 Swarmos is a big hit.
At the same time, you got MyDarling doing all this damage in the main, trying to target fire. Oh, he's not target firing the hive. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah.
Bioice really needs to get over there and deal with that. He needs to start his carapace upgrade before that hive dies. If he doesn't start his +3 carapace, he's gonna not be able to do it for a very long time if that hive dies.
So he cleans up the turrets.
Ooh, that is a lot of infestors.
Oh man, that was amazing.
A well-controlled infestor Viper army is like actually one of the strongest compositions. But the problem is it's so hard to control this army. Oh, that swarm host is gonna die. Alright, so now Bioice is starting to pull in some of these areas instead of the ground army. If he can get rid of all these Vikings, then this army is nothing. Like there's no static. There's nothing he can really do if he gets the good blinding clouds and the good potential pulls. The only thing that's stopping this army from dying is the Vikings. Some good pulls on the tanks. So he's really chipping away at this army. I thought this army was looking pretty unstoppable. But
I think MyDarling's starting to get a little bit of.
I think Bioice is starting to get into a pretty good position now.
Oh, just sacrificing a couple of sea tanks and Vikings. Ravens.
Oh, I feel like this is all going very efficiently for Bioice. Bioice is actually doing a very good job at controlling this army right now. Oh, please. No, these okay, that was gonna be really bad for a second. Those infestors were about to die, but not looking so bad anymore. The swarm hosts are starting to rally into this. This is a problem. Oh. Uh-oh. These Hydras. Oh. Those seeker missiles hit. The swarm hosts are rallied to the back of the third. He needs to fix the swarm host rally. Those infested Terrans were a pretty big play too.
Yeah, it was.
They did a lot of damage.
That was actually really
I feel
good
like,
decision made.
For whatever reason, I feel like MyDarling is in a position to harass all these exterior bases, like this one.
Exactly.
I would love to see, like, it would be so hard for Bioice to defend that third base or that fourth base while dealing with this army at the front. Like it's so APM intensive to deal with all of this, and then being able to stop all these bases as well. We see him going for it. I think this is going to go very well for Bioice. As long as the army split well, it should go very well. Looks like most of this army has to get cleaned up.
MyDarling should have backed up and just tried to take out the gold base.
Yeah, I agree.
A long time ago. I don't think he should have stayed.
I feel like MyDarling could have abused the fact that our army was in the rally. Like this base should not be alive right now. If this base wasn't alive, this would be a totally different game. Like, if you look at Bioice, he's almost mined out on this base. So if this fourth was dead, there would be nothing for him.
Well, he actually did take out the gold base, but then again, he doesn't have any minerals there, so that's almost...
I feel like Bioice is in a commanding lead now, for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think he can, or she can hold this anymore. This swarm host, Hydra... Infestor Viper, like, it's a very interesting composition, but it's working pretty well. MyDarling doing a very good job of trying to snipe the Vipers from underneath the Zerg, but I feel she doesn't have enough tanks to deal with this army. Like the Swarm Host Volley should be able to take out these tanks. Yeah,
She
I've
doesn't
seen
have
them getting on top of
ratings for PvE.
Bioice is very good at utilizing these defensive terrains too. I think it's definitely one of his strengths, but I don't think MyDarling can come back from this, losing this command center and losing all that army. And the GG is called.
Very back and forth game there.
Very back and forth.
Definitely unexpected turnout. I honestly thought MyDarling had that in the bag, but Bioice hung in there and just waited for mistakes to be played, and MyDarling did make a couple mistakes, and he definitely took advantage.
Yeah, he definitely capitalized on the micro mistakes from earlier. Very well played by both players.
Mr. Ableton, is there anything you'd like to say to the folks?
I'll take the silence as no.
Hey, wake up.
Yeah, what's up?
Is there anything you'd like to say to the folks that are watching, tuning in to the show match?
Yeah, just give the channel a follow if you like it. This is a part of a King of the Hill series, an in-house series that we're doing every week. We're hoping to get 2 show matches a week. Every time someone holds their position, they get $5. So, and so far this series, we've seen some pretty sick games. So hopefully this next one will be just as epic.
I wonder if MyDarling's gonna mix up her unit comp next game. That'd be interesting to see. Like if there's a lot of cool things MyDarling could do, like because Bioice has the mentality that she's gonna go mech.
Right.
Off of these last 2 games. There are a lot of like mech to bio strategies and stuff like that that can be really strong in this situation.
Just to see what Bioice is and how Bioice is gonna capitalize. Maybe we might see a cheese one unless. But like with for either player that does it, I feel like it'd be a little bit effective because it'd be definitely it would be effective because it's unexpected. Both players seems like both players are choosing to go the macro route, the longer game.
Yeah,
it's definitely
But they both also have these little strategies. Like that early game was pretty interesting for MyDarling, the harassments.
Right.
Like the Hellbat Marine timing into the Banshee timing. I wonder if we'll see Bioice try and harass a third base or anything like that. Maybe a Roach Bane or something would be cool.
I'm actually surprised that Bioice hasn't chosen to go that route, Roach Bane. I feel like it would be really effective to MyDarling style play.
It could be. Versus that first game, I would think Roach Bane would be very good. But the second game, she was actually pretty safe with the Banshees. The Banshee, she got up to 3 Banshees pretty fast, and Roach Bane would not be able to pressure that.
I definitely I like I do like MyDarling's style with Mech. It seems like he's very a lot of times tends to make the mistake of becoming really aggressive early on with Mech, not being patient. When you play Mech, you have to be very patient.
He's patient enough.
Yeah.
Like I don't see very many mistakes where like they think, okay, now is my time to attack. Like she seems to be very on point with that. Like
yeah, definitely. She has
every time she said, okay, it's my time to attack, it was actually like her time to attack. Like she had the perfect timing both times.
Yeah, her very first game she had +2/+2 as soon as she attacked. Very, very good. I'll let you do the introductions this time.
Merry-Go-Round is actually pretty... I think it's a pretty good map for Bioice versus MyDarling's playstyle. Like, this map isn't that great for Mech.
Yeah.
And it's pretty good for Bioice's creep, kind of heavy queen style. Like, it's very easy to creep spread and take your third. Well, the third's kind of open, but once you get your creep spread to it, there's nothing that you really have to worry about. And it's harder for the Terran player to take it.
Mech on this map, as long as if you're able to hold, once you get your third base and if you're able to hold, you can actually do a really strong timing attack, 3-base timing attack with Mech. Like you said, there's a lot of different ways to punish a mech player on there. The map itself is already big enough.
There's a lot of attack paths, and there's a lot of wide open engagements that can be utilized.
Easily, very easy way to get a lot of surface areas in different positions on the map. There's a lot you can do, like drop play. I'm actually surprised that I haven't seen Bioice do yet either. I'm not sure if that's his style. Overlord drops.
It doesn't seem like MyDarling builds very many turrets. Like, even when Bioice opened the Muta strategy, like there were just turrets in the middle line, and that was it. Like there was nothing protecting the from drops. Like usually a lot of mech Terrans will get a lot of turrets, like just a lot to deal with overlords flying in.
Right.
But we haven't really seen that from MyDarling, so it wouldn't be a bad idea for.
I play on this because of the location or the spawn locations that our players have. You know, you have MyDarling on the bottom, and then you have Bioice spawning to the left instead of the right. I feel like Mech is actually already at a disadvantage. Useless play would be hard.
Yeah.
I have to go left and right. Oh, I'm sorry. All right, you got it.
I want an intro. Travis, you intro.
What? I haven't even been casting. You intro, Jake.
That ain't me. I'll introduce the Zerg player.
Alright, spawning in the 6 o'clock position, we have our blue Terran MyDarling. She's currently up. Actually, they're both tied 1-1 right now.
In the top left-ish area of the map, we have our pink Zerg player, Bioice, who is currently up 1-1 in the series.
So Bioice is opening with a spawn, with a pull, a gasless pull. FE. MyDarling, she also does the same thing. She goes for a 1 Rex expand.
My curiosity is if Bioice can put 2 and 2 together and remember this is what happened the first game, you know, and maybe he can harass the fact that she gets a really late starport. But Bioice going gasless means he's gonna get 4 queens again, just like he did the first game. Unless we see like a double gas very soon, we won't have to worry about any gas play. It'll just be 4 queens again.
I feel like this style of play, if the Zerg player Bioice, if he was to go for a really fast third instead of double queens, the Terran player can actually do a lot of harassment against that by throwing down a bunker on the third, which is a very Wings of Liberty-esque style.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Bioice can always make slow Zerglings. Like we don't have to worry about Hellions for a very long time, so bunker won't do too much unless Bioice takes like a 3H kind of 3H4 pool thing. But we obviously don't see that. Like and queens aren't that bad. Like you can always just attack off creep. It'll just take them a while to get there. Usually you can buy enough time for your hatchery not to die to a bunker.
Right. So as we see MyDarling going for the same build path that she went in the first game, which is 1 Rex expand into double gas before her second Marines.
We'll probably see a third CC too, very soon.
Which I would be interested. Like it would be really nice to see her go for a really like a 2-base timing to throw Bioice off.
Yeah, I agree.
Too, right?
Because I think if Bioice knows what's coming, he can defend it. Like that big mech push off of like a high econ early it's kind of all in that 3-base mech push. But if Bioice can harass the third or be prepared for the mech push, he can stop it. Like he just has to be ready for it. Oh, seeing this kind of open would suggest obviously there's the Roach one, so we're not going to see the Muta play we did the first game. And we may even see a Roach timing. It's hard to tell right now, but with the lack of a third base would suggest that he's going to do a Roach timing, like a Roach Bane or Roach something. We'll probably see.
Assume that he's going for double. He's going for all 4 gases, so we can see a +1 or a double +1 Roach timing.
Yeah, but we would see a third a lot faster. He's getting his tech before his third, suggesting he wants to do something aggressive. Even if he does get his third now, it probably won't be saturated for a couple more minutes. We'll probably see 1-1 Roach timing or something like that. Maybe even
that's
Roach.
exactly what I'm thinking. I think he's gonna go for a 1-1 Roach timing. So he does have his he's getting his range. I'm waiting for him to get that armor. I get it.
Should be now. Yeah.
Get it. Get it. Gonna get it. Still waiting. I think it's a mistake.
Yeah,
Maybe
he was spending some of his
mistake.
gas on purchase, but I don't know why he's not getting his carapace unless he's not doing like if he's not getting carapace and if he's just gonna do a roach timing, like 1+1 roach timing, but it wouldn't be much of a point to get a second Evo.
Exactly. Yeah.
Unless he's just using the Evo as a wall off.
That could be good too. That's the case. I don't see why you'd have to get off. Oh, okay. So he's going for a Hydraless. Because I was gonna say there's no point if he's gonna do that. There was no point in getting off full gas.
Yeah, we'll probably see like 10 Hydras and a bunch of roaches, but it looks like he's still gearing up for an attack fairly early. If you look at the production tab, 7 roaches on the way with roach speed and +1. Obviously no carapace, so we might see, what I'm assuming is as soon as this +1 finishes, you're going to see a +2, and then he'll do a +2 or ranged attack or something like that. But
right.
We should start seeing Hydras, and the only reason why he's getting Hydras is so he can deal with the Banshees. But MyDarling needs to gear up into tanks like immediately.
Yeah.
Or she's going to die to this. Alright, +1's about to finish.
Flare,
We'll
so
probably... we should see +2.
He does have his overseer.
Maybe not. So if he doesn't get +2, this is super all-in. Like, he can't win if this push doesn't kill MyDarling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, and MyDarling may be able to spot the fact that Bioice doesn't have a saturation on his third, and this should be a major tip-off. But I feel like the mech is being added on really late. Like, look at all the Hydras already. She's no longer going to be able to defend this with just one Banshee. You know what I mean? And the other Banshee's at Bioice's base, so... And it dies, too. This is going to be very hard for MyDarling to hold. Yeah. He does have 2 factories producing tanks now, but I feel once those tanks do pop out, if Bioice can get on top of the production, or on top of, like, the Nat, he can take the Nat as well as the main, or the third.
So it seems like Bioice did take advantage of the build path that he does see the similarities of this build from the first game, so he took advantage and meted it.
Yeah, he's definitely metaing the fact that MyDarling didn't get tanks very fast, just like I said the first game, which he should have done. But we do see a bunch of drones, and we already see an infestation pit, so Bioice is definitely going to be in a very decent position after this. Even if he doesn't kill MyDarling, we will see a very fast Swarm Host tech transition. And Bioice is just gonna, he may just end it right here, depending on how much damage he does. It looks like MyDarling will hold, but for at what cost, really?
Yeah, it seems like he's lost plenty of workers already, 38 units killed.
MyDarling does have 2 base saturation still, but I feel like her timing push is no longer going to be as strong. She's got 5 factories off of 1 base, or 2 base production. And Bioice already taking his 4th base with Hive on the way. Like,
not to mention he's going for his double ups again. His armor is a little late, but it's due to the
It's pretty nice actually. Like his upgrades are still pretty decent, even though he didn't get his really fast 2-2. He'll probably just keep MyDarling from taking this 3rd, and if he does, he should be like millions of minerals ahead, like resource-wise.
Literally millions.
Literally millions. But the 4th base is about to finish from Bioice, and MyDarling definitely needs to start expanding if she wants to continue to be in this game. I think as the game goes on, the more Bioice is ahead.
Yeah, I feel like Bioice should go ahead and take a
Bioice
macro
actually,
hatch.
I thought the infestation pit was for Swarm Host, but it looks like Bioice is just skipping Swarm Host altogether. He's gonna go Roach Hydra Viper without any Swarm Host. And I think
he feels that he can benefit from the wide open of this map. He can get a really good swing with Roach Hydra.
But I also think he knows that MyDarling isn't going into heavy Viking production this fast. Like, he sees how many tanks are in production. No air units whatsoever. And with a lack of Vikings, you can just pull for days. Like, you won't have any problem pulling all this army into the Roach Hydra. MyDarling doing a pretty good job at spreading the tanks and being... she's going to try and take that 3rd base with the tanks on the high ground and everything else. She should be able to get it down. There's no reason why she shouldn't be able to. Oh, Bioice's Overlord speed is gonna stop this from going down, though. That's so annoying as a Terran player. That is by far probably the most annoying thing for a Terran player to deal with. Is a fucking Overlord speed Overlord just flying in and creep spreading like that.
And then you take out the Overlord, but then there's a link that's already frozen on there, so you have to spend a scan too.
Oh, look at this! Oh, that was cute. He pulled the Overlord into the army so that the Widowmine would splash these Hellbats. That's pretty cute.
We got Bioice working on his fifth base while MyDarling just trying to get his third base down. Having trouble. Ooh. Right.
Bioice's Vipers are now out, and we'll probably see a Viper harass, like being. Oh, are Vikings on the way? No, they're Ravens.
Oh, so Bioice is supposed to have double Spire.
Huh. This time it's definitely not a mistake.
Yeah.
It's probably. I can tell you right now, it's for the Muta transition. He'll probably pull all the Thors and like the tanks away, and then MyDarling will probably think that it's heavily committed into Roach Hydra Viper, and then we'll see double Spire and Muta, like 30 or 40 Mutas after this push. And there will only be one Thor and a couple turrets. Actually, MyDarling's doing a very good job of making a lot of turrets. But the reason why she's doing that is because of these Vipers. She's basically substituting the turrets for the lack of Vikings. Well, that pull was interesting. This fight isn't going that badly for MyDarling, but it has to go a lot better for MyDarling if she wants to be ahead or be even. The supply count's dipping for MyDarling, but Bioice is still at 160 supply with a pretty.
Yeah, because of the bank that he has, he's just constantly remax. Or not remax. Oh yeah, remax.
He also killed a lot of the turrets there, so if we do see a Muta transition, but we don't see the upgrades for the Muta, so maybe he's already scrapped that because of all the turrets he saw. We usually would see the +1/+1.
He probably feels he doesn't need it anymore because he probably feels like he's done so much damage.
Yeah.
Viper.
I'm surprised we don't see drones at the third or the fourth base for more gas and go.
No, but tomorrow Overlord's going to MyDarling's fourth and fifth is Speed Creep. So annoying to deal with. Because Darling doesn't. Oh, he has 3 Vikings. So.
Yeah. Bioice should definitely saturate these gases to take advantage of all these gases that he could have.
Hey, wake up!
At the first game, he didn't have much minerals. Now this game.
Well, we do see Vikings now from MyDarling. So we may still. There's the +1/+1 from Bioice for Spire upgrades. We'll probably see Mass Muta very, very soon. He just wanted the Viking transition. That's why he's waiting for that. But we only see 1 starport, right? Oh no, there's 3. Okay. Makes more sense now.
But MyDarling only has 1 Viking, which is definitely gonna be.
You just have a lot of whale mines though, so it's gonna be hard for the Mutas to do their thing.
Yeah.
A lot of Vipers.
Like I said, because of the spawn, I'm just waiting for Bioice to transition into music and just go straight to the main because of the spawn location that he has.
Yeah.
He didn't do it. So, I mean, he has a couple turrets, but those turrets will just be shot at the weekend. Oh, really good mine hit. Takes damage on all 5 of the Vipers. One of the Vipers dies. Oh, he has his Hydras on hold position. Killed those 2 Ravens. So while MyDarling contains on 3
Bioice just takes the entire map. Literally.
Yeah.
Taking all the gases he could ever want.
3,000
gas bank right now. I'm surprised we don't see more Muta upgrades from Bioice. Transfusing all these Vipers is a very good, smart play. That way they don't all die. But MyDarling should be able to pick up on the fact that Bioice isn't really reproducing these Roaches and Hydras. Like, if you look at the army supply, Bioice is just holding out, like, a large portion of his army. Very good at pulling these Ravens and Vikings in. Keeping that number low is pretty important. The Widow Mines from MyDarling are still pretty scary, because if Bioice transitions into Mutas, he won't be able to do what he wants to do with them.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's picked up on the fact that he won't be able to do what he wants with the Mutas. We see Carapace, we could see Ultra or something. We don't see an Ultra's Cavern. There's so much gas coming in from Bioice. If you look at his gas count's probably going up almost as fast as his minerals.
Yeah, and at the same time, you got MyDarling's gas is depleting. I was going up a little, but he doesn't have enough.
Most useless Overlord dropping creep ever. Yeah. Literally, can just take the base anyways.
I guess he was using it to just spot if he was going for it. But
Uh-oh, MyDarling moving out. This is what Bioice is wanting. We should see the next tech transition very shortly. But look at Bioice's supply. He's literally just sitting here waiting. That's actually pretty big. But once MyDarling mobilizes and starts to try and attack, so we'll see the transition. Like, Bioice just sitting at 134 supply with 7k, 6k, it's quite obvious it's going to be like 40 Mutalisks. There's the 29 Mutas on the way. That's exactly what I was looking for.
Same time he's working on it, he's about to get double up on Mutas.
39 Mutas in production right now. And he still has 4k, 2500. I think MyDarling may get caught off guard to some extent. He only has she only has one Thor and 2 4 turrets for this base. She could lose her whole army. Bioice getting rid of more supply so he can build more Mutas. Look at all these Mutalisks. That is so many Mutas. And if we see good Blinding Clouds, this army has nothing to deal with it. There's the Mutas.
Oh, PDDs.
A lot of PDDs. These Mutas need to be split better.
Got a couple Seekers.
Oh! Moving the Mutas into the Ravens, the ones that were Seeker missiled. This army is definitely toast.
Yeah.
Very, very nice transition from Bioice. There's the Widow Mines that I was talking about that would be pretty decent versus this.
Oh!
Oh! Oh! That was pretty big for MyDarling. Obviously it doesn't matter anymore with the amount of minerals and gas that Bioice has.
Yeah.
And all the tank slots now.
Despite the fact that he lost a lot of Mutalisks, I mean...
Yeah,
he has the bank to be able to replenish himself.
Pretty good.
While MyDarling doesn't really
Bioice is still at a max supply.
Just built a volley of one. How many moves does he have in the game? Yes, 40
now we have Swarm Hosts. Uh-oh. Pretty good micro from Bioice. Man, these Muta upgrades are so good.
Yeah.
Just taking out everything. This is looking very good for Bioice. And you can still see, look at how many potential minerals he has on the map. Like, half of these bases aren't even close to mining out, and MyDarling is very, very limited.
Yes, they use 6 drones on the floor, so...
If Bioice wraps around to go back to that 4th base, it's definitely done.
Yeah.
There's 1 turret and 4 tanks. That's it, defending it.
He also has 9 Swarm Hosts on the field. So if the Swarm Host was to go straight to his...
3-3. Not often do we see 3-3 for Mutas being researched, but we have 3-3 for Mutas on the way. And the Swarm Host... Yeah, this game is not looking too good. For MyDarling. Yeah, the GG is called. MyDarling can't deal with the Muta transition. I felt like she was behind after that Roach Hydra timing to like the point where she couldn't come back from the game. Bioice just took a commanding lead, took every base on the map, and just capitalized on the fact that he did so much damage. It was very, very well played by Bioice and very well played by MyDarling, considering the circumstances.
Good series, good series. I was didn't expect that turnout, honestly. Much closer than I thought it would be. Definitely big props and kudos to my darling and both Bioice. Good TVZ, so I learned a lot. Definitely gonna capitalize on some of the some of the decision making that my darling made. Definitely help my Mech out. But very good series nonetheless.
I think that's the series. Thanks to Conviction, who was our Terran caster, and No Regret, the Zerg. Let's see. Let me see who the next person is, just so people know who's up next before we go.
It is gonna be Creature.
Yeah, Creature's up. Creature, if you're watching the stream,
Oh.
which I think you are, Creature, get ready. Bioice is coming for you. But yeah, like you said, Conviction, that was a really great series. I did not think it would be. I mean, Bioice has pretty much stomped through everybody, even Camker.
Yeah.
And I think so far, MyDarling has actually gave him
a run for his money.
Yeah,
That was actually very,
definitely.
very close. I think it was teetering on the fact that like either player could have messed up a small thing and it would have tipped in favor of that person, but Bioice very well played from him, taking advantage of the fact that he knew what was coming the second or the third game. Like he knew exactly what was coming with the One Rex expand from the first game. So he took advantage of that and he played very well from that point. And MyDarling did a great job first game with the build. Like it was just such a solid timing right before the Widowmine or the fucking Swarmos.
One final thing before we go. This weekend, we are working with Soul Steel to host a public tournament. It's called Santa Soul Steel's Christmas tournament. If you want to sign up for that, you can head over to Team Liquid, and under their tournament section, there will be a post of all the information as well as a link to the sign up. So I encourage everybody go out there. There's a $100 prize pool. It's going to be lots of fun. It's going to be casting. So definitely go check that out and tell your friends about it. But with that, thank you guys for watching. I'll let you. We'll post definitely when the next show match is coming up. So peace out, guys.